All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here for Season 5. Can't believe Season 5 already of Zenith Online Racing. I am R. Biga, back in the booth tonight. Sorry, the audio threw me off there. Back in the booth tonight for the season debut. We're here at the Circuit of the Americas for the USA Grand Prix. And new member to the commentary team, well, at least in the Tier 1 commentary team. He's been doing it a while in the EU tier. Mr. DZyg00. Welcome, sir. Sounds good. Yeah, as you may recall, if you're a frequent viewer here, Zyg was in Tier 1 last year. He is now in the commentary booth, not quite available to commit to the racing as often, so jumping in for the commentary. We're on board with your Season 4 champion. It's QVR Packers. Got a new sponsorship. That's bizarre. Is your audio set to be shared? Must be. The cars or you. Maybe you're too quiet again. And I think I might need to adjust the game. Let me just mess with that audio. I think I maybe have turned this down a while back. Let's try that. That a little better there, Terminal. Maybe I did have the volume down too low, because I think I was streaming this one time recently and adjusted the volume to be like not in a party type deal. I can't remember. Yeah, turn your mic back up, because you definitely are getting drowned out by the cars now. I don't know how I am compared to cars, but you guys let us know. Obviously, we're going to have some kinks to work out here at the beginning of the session, just to get the audio worked out. New commentary team. QVR Packer 130.1 for the first hot lap of the session. It's a pretty good time on the board. Who else we got coming around? It looks like another racing point. Is that Camden? That will be Camden. And he's about to cross the line. Can he edge out his teammate? No, he cannot. 30.5 for Camden. Too much car now? Okay. Let me, I'll actually fix it this way, because I think this will actually work out better for what we're doing here. How about that? Is that a bit better? Just leaning more on the party audio, and then maybe, I will turn this down just 1 second. Sorry for cutting the feed out there, guys.
Alright, you should be able to hear me now. I needed to share my audio for this party in particular.
Okay, that makes sense. So you were just muted before. I guess volume-wise, you were a little quiet compared to the cars, but we've done some tweaking, so we might be okay now.
Cool.
It's good now. Like, we're on board. So what I did was I moved the party audio all the way over and then dropped the game audio one more again. Sounds good? Yeah.
I'm just talking so I can see if my mic works or not. Hang on.
All right, no worries. Okay, it sounds perfect. There we go. We found our balance then. Just let me know how Zyg is in comparison to me, because we were trying to figure out the balance there as well. But we'll let you know when we need to. So I gotta get to some other cars here. We've been sitting on board with people screwing around with the audio. Season debut. Interesting to note here, doth thou hoist in the Renault this season. Always a Ferrari driver normally, but now he's in the Renault, and he's brought a new teammate along with him, former Tier 1 commentator, Puff Digital.
He said if he couldn't be my teammate, he didn't even want the red car, so he's in the Renault this season.
Fair enough. He doesn't want to do a disservice to the Ferrari team without Zyg, I guess. Puff Digital with a good time on the board. Interesting there, 30.9, ahead of Axton, Ryan, Maverick as well. So Puff with a really good lap here to start his debut in Tier 1. Well, I guess it's a return to Tier 1, not really a debut. He's been here, but last season had
debut on his current setup on the wheel. He's always in with the controller in Tier 1 before. So
that's a good point. Dot thou hoist narrowly makes the pit entry and nearly puts it into the barrier. I'm sure he'll be ashamed that he was on the stream for that move. Sort of just dumb luck, because I'm distracted at the moment. Everything sounds good there now, Terminal. You hear everybody clearly. Got Beck on an outlap. Let's check in with Beck. He's held on to his Tier 1 seat despite scoring very few points last year due to an unprecedented amount of DNFs. But he is now back in Tier 1, riding that McLaren. See if he can have a better season. Maybe keep it on the road a few more times, and you'll score some more points. He's got the pace for sure.
Bit of a lock-up there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he's got Eric on his team, who also has a habit of DNFing, so the McLaren might be in for a rough season here.
They might have some reliability issues, but
yeah,
certainly have the pace.
Oh, there goes Beck! There he goes.
Good job keeping it out of the wall. Jeez.
Yeah, he's lucky. He nearly lost his qualifying session there. He's going to get disqualified, I think.
Yeah, he's going to say, I don't think you can reverse that long.
I don't think so either.
Into the pits.
Oh, he's been reset to track. Oh, no. They reset him to the track. That is super unfortunate. Let's get that was great. I mean, it was quite the. He ran wide and invalidated the lap and then spun. So great lap from Durnia there.
Very solid lap. His pace just exploded last season. He was kind of on the fringe of points at the beginning of last season. Then by the end, he was almost competing for podiums and victories. Like he really grew last season. So I'll be excited to see what he's able to do.
Yeah, I think he was pretty quick most of the season. Just maybe he had some bad luck and some bad decisions and stuff like that. But towards the end of the season, you're right. Definitely was fighting for wins and podiums consistently, and see if he can carry that momentum here into Season 5. He's got a good lap on the board, edging out Puff Digital there, who is on his out lap currently. Check in with him shortly. See if we got anybody else on a hot lap. Looks like Jinnit. Hot lap for Jinnit. Let's ride on board with him. Back in Tier 1 again. Dropped down to Tier 2 last year to learn without some assists for a little while. I'm not sure if he's got them back on or not. If I were him, I'd probably put at least one or two things back on to be a bit more competitive up here. But he was rocking it in Tier 2, so I think he'll do well here regardless. Not too sure what he's done, though. We'll have to check in with him. 30.8 for Jinnit, so he's edged out Puff just barely. And if you go off last season's pace, he was about that much quicker than Puff, so maybe you're still running without those assists. We'll check in with him at some point and try to figure that out. Ryan, on his hot lap, this will be his second run, I believe. So let's get on board with him. And I think Camden, it's Eric actually, has jumped up into third there in that McLaren, so it's Eric. If you looked at his time trial times and his outright pace, very legitimate Tier 1 pace. He's quick enough, but it's the consistency that he's been struggling to lock down. And Tier 2 plagued him last season, despite being one of the quicker drivers in the field. But now, due to availability, he's moved up into Tier 1. So see if he can put that pace on display, and if he can string together some consistent drives with that kind of pace, he could easily be scoring big points here every week.
And that's the thing about Tier 1, is the consistency is that much more important, because
absolutely
there's just so many drivers who are quick, so many drivers who can be on the podium, that if you make one slip or one mistake, it's so competitive that you might be running third or fourth, you have one bad decision and that might drop you out of the points. And it's really hard to recover. So the consistency and avoiding those mistakes is going to be absolutely crucial for the not just the championship fight, but just where you finish in the standings. So
yeah, it's Doth crossing the line here. 31.4 for Doth, or 31.04 for Doth. Sorry. But yeah, I definitely agreed. You saw that last week in the preseason race. If you didn't see that, you can tune in on the channel there and watch that again after this one's done. But the preseason race, we saw a couple mistakes from guys, and they were basically just nowhere the rest of the night without a safety car to bring them back. Here in Tier 1, you can't afford to have a big mistake like that. You can have a little wobble, you can lose some wheel spin, stuff like that, but if you rotate the car or lose your wing, you're pretty much done for, because the guys ahead of you are just rapid, and you're not going to catch them when they're 20 seconds up the road.
Well, just looking at the qualifying right now, I mean, Packer was the champion last season, but Doth has won a lot of races, Puff has won a lot of races, and Mr. Joshua is a former Tier 1 champion. He's in P14 right now. Like, it's just so quick. We know pretty much anyone on the grid can win a race, so...
Yeah, I mean, even the guy we're looking at right now, Mr. Aerostrike, very formidable driver, contending for podiums a lot of last season, sort of trailed off toward the end of the year, didn't really get any big results as the season petered out, but he's run a little bit wide there and invalidated, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
that's
Aerostrike,
tough.
again, one of those guys, just that outright pace, capable of winning from anywhere in the field, as you mentioned. But it's a tall order here in Tier 1 with, I think this is the second season of pace-based seeding. And it's gotten even more refined and perfect here, I think, because you're adding guys like Maverick, Jinnit, Eric with the pace, the consistency remains to be seen, but Puck Digital as well. Add all these guys in there with the already excellent field we had last year in Tier 1, and it just really tightens things up. So I think, well, if you look through the spread here from third, JXW with a 30.4 down to 12th, Doth, 8 cars there, half a second splitting them. So that's really good to see.
Make that 9. Somebody just put a time in the middle of all
Yeah,
that.
that was Axon, I believe. So J. Cole has edged out that top group. He's slid into third. So J. Cole, we know very quick. He's going to give Packer a run for his money. And just to shout out to Camden here for a really stellar qualifying lap there. Not really his forte, but he is currently on provisional pole ahead of Packer and J. Cole, both very fast drivers. So Camden has put in a stellar lap here in the season debut. Really good to see. He's going to be hungry, and bagging an early win would be huge for his championship bid this season. We'll see
I was gonna
how...
say, I've
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I've watched J. Cole a lot in the EU tier, and he is usually one who gets the race strategy and the race pace right on the nose. So
Yeah.
him qualifying P3, he's really going to take the fight to the racing points this season. It's going to be so tight up at the top.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is he's reserve.
Yeah, but when he's here, we're going to be treated
Yeah,
to some great
like
racing.
he'll still score points and whatnot, but we don't know how often he's going to be here. So, I mean, if he's here every week, that's great. A lot of guys are trying to use every inch of the track, and I think they're invalidating their laps by running wide, trying to get a better turn in. I've seen that twice now, I think.
Well, I mean, as you commented earlier, there's, a tenth of a second here and there might be a couple rows on the grid. If you look
That's true.
from P5 is a 30.5, less than a tenth of a second to P8. So 4 drivers covered by less than a tenth. Using that extra bit on entry or exit or being able to carry that extra few miles an hour through a corner, it might be a row on the grid, which could translate, in a big way during the race if that's one less car in front of you to maybe damage your wing on the first corner, which, especially at this track, the first corner can be a pretty dicey situation. So
Yeah,
just
and I think
having as few cars, as few variables in front of you as possible, I'm not surprised to see guys trying to take every single inch that they can.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a really tight race as well. So there's going to be a lot of DRS train going on, and I think that every position you can earn in qualifying, like, as you said, is very important, especially when guys are this quick. So if you can gain 2 places by finding that extra 10th, it's definitely worth it to take some risks. Zamoklis bails on that lap. It looked like a pretty solid lap, but he's heading into the pit lane here. He's driving Red Bull this season with Axton.
Yeah, he should have plenty of time to switch tires and get out for a final run, though, so he might be just taking that track evolution.
Yeah, I'll try to take a look at who's coming around there. Is that one of the Haas cars about to start a lap, or... It's Porchy Dude. Let's check in with him, and then we got a Ferrari behind. Actually, he's...
Ryan is about to finish up a lap, and
okay.
Dernia's on a lap in the first sector.
Yeah, Dernia just started his, I believe. There's another Ferrari just crossed the line. Is that Joshua that just started his? Ryan, oh, and he missed it! And he's reversing on the track. I'm not sure... Does he get away with that? I think he does. He's very lucky there. He's not going to get back out regardless, though. I don't know why. He should have just stayed out there. Doth on a lap. Dernia is on 2-lap-old tires out there, so he must be done. I'm not sure he's actually going to find any time there. Doth with a huge ball there. Yeah, he's turned it right down, so Doth's going to go for another run here. He just had a big snap, and I figure he's probably assuming that's not going to be good enough for him. Camden on a flyer here. Let's ride on board with Camden. Let's see if he can improve on that previous run. I don't know if he can pick up somebody maybe coming across the line there. Is that Joshua?
He's in the
No,
third
it
sector.
isn't. That's Doth about to start another lap. Puff, where is he at? I haven't seen Puff much today. Puff starting a lap. Joshua's about to finish one, so let's ride with Joshua quickly.
He was about half a second down through the second sector.
Ryan is retired, obviously, didn't have time. Half a second down, Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's a rough debut. That's a rough qualifying for him.
Invalidated.
Yeah, he's out. So, who was next? Jeez, it was Packers about to cross the line. No, he's starting a lap
that would
here.
have put him. That would have put him P14. That would have moved him up a couple.
So Camden is actually down on his previous run, but only a 10th. So he could probably find a 10th here in this final sector. Maybe improve his time slightly. Packer has just started his lap, so we're going to check out the battle for pole position between Camden and Packer here in the Racing Point. Rivals last season, teammates this season, so we'll see how that pans out. But Camden now entering the final corner. Gets nice and tight on that curb. Really good exit there. Let's see if he can improve, and he doesn't. No, does not improve despite setting a purple sector. Let's get back to Packer, who
Packer
is now...
was 2.5 tenths down through the first.
Up, you mean? It said he was up.
Faster, sorry. He was
yes.
quicker by 2 tenths.
Yeah, so it looked like I jumped in and said he was up. But so Packer up 2 tenths, which will be enough at this point if he doesn't make any mistakes. Very close to running off the edge of the track here. Using every inch. Oh my, it's so close. He's literally on the white line. Oh, he gets away with that. I thought he'd cut. That's incredible stuff. And he's up 4 tenths now. So
wow.
that paid off for him. He's pretty much got it in the bag unless he has a big mistake here. The lockup, not a big deal because he's still carrying good pace through the apex there. Now making his way through this long sweeping right-hander, carrying as much speed as he can, keeping the car tight, taking the shortest route possible. Swings it down into the penultimate corner, into the final corner. Bit of a lockup there, but he's up quite substantially. Is it going to be pole? It is pole for Packer by half a second. Great lap from Packer there. Is anyone
Honorable
behind?
mention, Doth, right at the end, set a 30.4, jumped up about 10 grid spots.
That's
that was
great.
A very good lap from him at the end.
And here's Jinnit now just about to finish his lap, entering the final turn as well. He needs a big lap here. He's down in 14th at the moment. Big lap from Jinnit. He's up into 4th. Great stuff from him.
Huge.
Right behind J. Cole.
Zamoglis looked like he had the pace through his final lap, but invalidated, unfortunately.
Puff has taken a page out of my book. He looks like he's going to be starting P10 on the soft tire. That is extremely unfortunate. Poor Puff.
It's the worst spot on the grid.
It really is. It honestly is. I was there plenty last season. It really hurts. It's a tough place because you lose that strategy and you're starting literally the worst place you can on the softs is 10th. So, well, I mean, you could be starting 12th on the softs, but you're not going to choose that, are you?
No, and even then, you'd probably be on fresh softs versus he's going to have to be on his quality softs, which are going to be.
Oh, it's a wet race, so we didn't know that. It's a wet race. The debut for Season 5 is going to be a wet race. It will dry up at the end, according to Maverick.
Wow.
That's going to be really interesting. So we'll run you through the order quickly. Packer on pole. Camden 2nd. J. Cole takes 3rd. Jinnit is 4th. Durnia 5th. Doth takes 6th. JXW 7th. Axton takes 8th. Eric in 9th. Puff Digital in 10th. Zamonglis on Poor Man's pole in 11th. Gets a tire choice from 11th down. And we got Porchy Dude, Maverick, Ryan, T-Money, Joshua, Beck, and Aerostrike. And we know how fast Alt Maverick is. And look at him starting in P13 tonight. That's a rough go for Maverick in qualifying. It's been a while since we've seen him start that far back.
Yeah. 1 second from second to 15th. 1 second.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race. I'm excited.
This actually, I don't think for a full wet race, I actually think this will be one of the better tracks for racing. Because of the long straight and then so many different lines you can take through the third sector, so many different, quite frankly, so many different places you can make mistakes through the third sector.
The first sector as well.
Yeah, that I think if you can, the long straight should help, pull you up to the car in front. That if they make any mistake through the third or first sector, that you should be able to pounce. So
Yeah,
um,
this looks
ho-
pretty wet there.
hopefully,
Hopefully nobody picks up a penalty for rating up too early here. I think Puff is our host for the night, so when Puff gives the go, everybody else will ready up. Looks like someone has started it. Porchy dude. Yeah, it's a penalty.
what you do.
I'm pretty sure he's not an admin, so that'll be a 10-second penalty for Porchy dude right off the bat. I believe that rule is still in place.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Who's your podium picks tonight?
Jeez, well, I'm gonna go with the easy ones. I think Camden, Packer. I mean, J. Cole, really. You can't bet against, like you said, his race pace is unreal. I think J. Cole, really good crack at a podium here. As far as maybe like a wild card podium, how about Axton? Let's see if Axton can snag a podium from 8th. I could see that happening. He's a pretty good racer. Maybe
Yep.
JXW. Durnya, I was going to say, but he's in 5th, so it wouldn't be terribly surprising if he ended up on the podium. But Durnya, I think, is probably the best bet outside the top 3.
Well, and I've watched Jinnit race on Sundays enough to know that I know he picks up quite a few penalties as well,
Yep,
typically.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised to see, as somebody was mentioning, Terminal mentioned in the chat earlier that Eric has got some really, really good pace this season. I wouldn't be surprised to see him snag one from P9 either.
Yeah, he definitely could. Something Eric is plagued with again is the penalties. Like a lot of other drivers, plagued with penalties quite often. He usually racks up quite a few, despite having really good pace. And then he's also has those errors. It's not quite as frequent as someone like Beck, who's crashing a lot, but Eric does have his moments, and I hope he does well. I'd like to see Eric do well. He does have that outright pace, and he's a really good dude, so it'd be nice to see him actually put it all together and get a nice result, especially in Tier 1, because he was doing that in Tier 2 last season sometimes, and it was really good. Obviously, we got Packer out in front leading the group. It is full wets here to start Season 5 of Zenith Online Racing. Full wet tires. It's a downpour. There's hardly a dry line there. This is going to be good stuff here. Was he classified T1? I thought he was like I remember him being like right on the fringe for Tier 1 last year. And yeah, I think it's based on his work schedule, that's where it worked out. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say this first lap, it's you know, we were just talking about how fast Tier 1 was, and this first lap is going to be them tiptoeing around on full wet tires, so it'll be interesting to watch. But hopefully it does dry up at the end. Maverick said it was going to dry up at the end, so hopefully that comes quickly so we can see some good racing.
We could see something... could see some moves from Puff here in the wet, too. Puff, a very good driver in the wet. Something me and him have both excelled at in the past. I thought when he switched over to the wheel, he might struggle a bit more with it, but he's kind of carried that talent over. So could see Puff do some damage there from 10th with this wet race. We'll have to see how that pans out. But again, lining up on the grid here. We're back again. It's Monday nights, 8 p.m. Season 5 of Tier 1 of Zenith Online Racing. Let's get things fired up. We got Packer on pole, his teammate Camden in second, and J. Cole in third. See how this thing pans out. We're just about ready to go. Let's get those lights fired up. 3 lights on. 5 lights on. And Season 5 is underway. We go racing in America. Packer, great start. And it looks like J. Cole has jumped Camden on the start. Very good stuff there. And Doth sneaking in the middle of all these cars. Oh, there's some contact. Big contact. Who is that? Camden has dropped down the order. He was hit from behind by, I don't know who that was. It was one of...
Zamaglis looked like he got hit too. Camden was out. Beck dropped back.
Yeah, it looked like a Mercedes perhaps had slid into the back. Was it Jinnit? Just broke himself there. Oh, we got cars side by side back here. And Ryan is out. It's a safety car. Someone has dropped out of the race already.
Wow.
Ryan has lost it in the S's there, and he is out. We're not going to get a shot of that. I can't see him anywhere.
Nope, he's behind now.
Yeah, he's behind the whole field. So,
wow, that's crazy.
What a start there. So Camden pretty much taken out of competition for that podium right off the hop. Durnya up into third on the start. Good start from him.
Oh, Packer spun. half
Oh,
spin coming out of the safety car. J. Cole took over the lead. I don't know if he'll get it back or not. Yeah.
yeah, that was bizarre. Just a crazy start to season 5 here.
Wow.
All kinds of action. We got a bunch of guys with penalties already. Was that contact under the safety car, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
it was either
gotta be,
contact under the
yeah.
safety car
And they're
or
all going to have to
contact.
serve that there. Maverick, Puff, T-Money, Beck, and Zamagos all going to have to serve that because
They're all 5-second penalties, so my
Yeah.
guess is that's all contact through the first corner and all that shenanigans. So, but
I
yeah,
think so.
Porchy dude gained 7 positions. Mr. Joshua, showing his cool head, gained 9 positions on that lap. So fantastic start from him.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive start for Portuguese. He's got that 10-second penalty. He's got to fight against the entire race here, so good for him getting up the order a little bit, save himself some time. Big loser there, Jinnit. Yeah, he dropped 6 places. I think it was Jinnit that went into the back of Camden and spun him. I'm not sure if Jinnit picked up damage as well. Jinnit did, yes, quite a bit of damage. So Jinnit off to a rough start here in Tier 1. Looks like he's probably going to pick up a penalty right off the hop. I'd imagine so anyway. That was a pretty clumsy incident. Camden has to pit as well, obviously. Spun around in the first corner. Very unfortunate start to the race. He must be fuming after that.
Yeah.
The order has gone completely haywire at this point. All these guys, you know, if you had a 5-second penalty, almost worth it to go serve it now under the pit safety car. Just get it over with.
I think so.
Maverick's done it.
Yeah,
But,
with the amount of laps you have left, it's definitely worth it to just dive into the pits, serve it, get it done.
It looks like Puff
It
has
might,
stayed
I mean,
out.
it can always be removed at the end, but those
No.
5-second penalties, they make you serve it during the middle of the race, usually automatically. So
Yeah, we can't
you might
remove
as well
those,
go under the
obviously,
safety car and serve it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because we can't remove a penalty that's been served, right? So,
Yep.
unfortunately, I don't think any of these guys are going to get to the end on this set of tires. So these guys with the 5-second penalty still are probably going to be carrying them into the pit window. But again, you make up some room now instead of being stuck in traffic. It could pay off the other way. It's hard to say, really. We'll see how it pans out. Those guys that went and served them now. I mean, Maverick maybe had to pit because he picked up 5 seconds for running into the back of Puff there. Or maybe needed a wing or something anyway. So,
Yeah.
who's to say who's really at fault there? But regardless, Puff's going to have to pay, which is unfortunate for him for his first race back in Tier 1. So, under the safety car here, it's lap 3 at the Circuit of the Americas. Season 5 underway. A little bit of chaos to start. We knew that would probably happen with a full wet race to start. Apparently, it might dry up by the end, but I don't see any clear sky in sight. We're looking at both sides of the car Packer here. Pack stands. COVID's over. It's 2022. Good to see everybody racing. All right. Hopefully, we'll get the safety car in. I don't think so, though. We're in Sector 3 now, so unless we get a late call here.
Yeah, I don't think too many people will be complaining, though. This will help clear up that dry line, everybody going around together right behind the safety car.
Yeah, and those guys at the back haven't quite caught the field yet, so.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate for Camden there. Through no fault
that's
of his
tough.
own, he had a really good start. He was in a safe spot. Took a really nice line into the corner, and Jinnit just outbroke himself. And it's a tricky corner on the start of the race. You're going uphill. It's a blind apex. You can't really see it until you start turning. With 3 or 4 cars in there, it's so wide too that you always think there's room, but then it tightens up quick.
And then throw in the wet weather there too, which is throwing off your braking marker. Which is different lap 1 anyway, because you're not coming in with the same speed, and then the wet just throws it off even more. And
yeah, and the full fuel, it's just so hard to know what the car is going to feel like once you're actually racing. Formation lap's one thing, but under racing conditions, it's a whole new ball game. And obviously, everybody been off for a few weeks, so probably a little rusty. I think maybe 3-4 weeks ago we have a full wet race here, and maybe don't see that kind of clumsy stuff at the start. But it wasn't too bad. It was mainly one incident. And then I don't know what really happened to Ryan there. We'll have to check in the chat after the race is over and see if we can get a view of that.
That's the hard thing about lap 1 incidents. It could be one, take this with a grain of salt as we've only seen a couple camera angles, but it could be one driver outbraking themselves and going into the back of someone, where you add turn 1 into that and lap 1 and the wet weather, and it creates an effect much bigger than the mistake itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it might have been one driver, oh, I outbroke, I went into the back of someone, but the wet might cause you to spin, which might cause, you know, a domino effect down the field. So
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to say, like, you know, like, does Zenith get looked at for just the collision with Camden, or is it perhaps a ripple effect that's taken into consideration? I mean, it's the first race of the season, so not too sure how that'll pan out. I imagine it'll just be a pretty standard penalty if there is one given them. I would assume so. It's you can't really be doing that kind of stuff into turn one, but again, wet race start could be viewed as a racing incident possibly as well. We don't know why Zenith was out there, so anyway, safety car is in. Yeah, you're about to say that, I think.
Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. Safety car
literally
in,
did.
So. Yeah, Packer. The tire warm up after the safety car is usually such a challenge anyway, especially in the full wet weather. You see Packer just furiously going,
like
doing
he's
anything
hit the
he
throttle
can to get
here,
heat
though.
in his tires.
Has he? He has
Could
not
barely
gone.
Tell.
Yeah, everyone's getting sort of throttled at the back there, but it looks like we're racing again. Packer gets off to a great start there. Nice, almost second lead already on J. Cole. Durnia drifts behind J. Cole as well. Doth has a big gap, but he's under pressure. Yeah, under pressure from Porchy Dude and JXW right behind as well. Joshua, Eric, Puff following behind them.
Axton very close to the back of Mr. Joshua through the S's. Had to back off.
Yeah, this is not a place to be racing side by side in the wet. Just always going to end in tears. Well, usually ends in tears. We might see some crazy stuff tonight, but it's JXW putting some pressure on Porchy Dude, looking for that traction out of the corner. Both cars just sliding through all these cold tires. They're not quite gripping the way they should in the wet yet. We just spent 2 laps under the safety car. And, yeah, everybody going very... Oh, another safety car.
Another safety car.
What is that for? Nobody's out.
What?
Is it for torrential rain? It is, yeah. It's because of the torrential rain. See how hard it's coming down?
Wow.
Aerostrike got a penalty for speeding under safety car. Oh, no.
He's already at the back of the field.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
He can't serve that. It does happen occasionally. It is programmed in that if torrential rains come down. So if that was forecast for torrential rain, then it was likely that this would have happened. You could see the the serious lack of grip, but yeah, it does happen. It's something that we see in real life occasionally. And they did program it into the game. It's a very, very rare occurrence. I don't think I've seen it in 3 or 4 seasons in league racing.
I was gonna say I've never seen that before. Surprising, but you look at there's puddles everywhere off the racing line. The entire track is just soaked.
There's standing water everywhere. The racing line itself is barely visible. Look at the lack of grip these guys have, though. And I think that's probably part of it. Why the safety car is called out, I think it has something to do with the collective grip in the field as well. You can see everybody was struggling on entry and exit there, so probably better for a race that we don't push on in torrential conditions, but hopefully nobody collides here. We're going to have some cars closing up very quickly in a very blind part of the track. These guys are going quick back here.
For everybody who got a poor safety car restart, though, they kind of get a second chance. Doth and Porchy Dude kind of fell back from the podium positions, but they're gonna get another shot. And T-Money had dropped back quite a bit from Puff, so he'll get another shot at it too.
Yeah, Arrow's pit. I wonder if he was trying to serve his penalty and forgot, and he can't do it under safety car because it looked like his wing was intact at least. Not entirely sure, but maybe the wing was damaged. Figured he'd just get it replaced. He's at the back already anyway. He's gonna. I was gonna say
he's at the back.
Right?
He's gonna have a drive-through, even if he doesn't have wing damage. A fresh set of wet tires probably isn't going to be a bad thing.
No. He's gonna need something to give him a bit of an advantage from that position that he's in now. It doesn't look good. Riding on the rear wing of Maverick here, the Tier 2 Season 4 champion, now in Tier 1, as is the right of the Tier 2 champion to automatically be promoted. So he's struggling here, 13th, didn't have a great qualifying, hasn't really made up much ground in the race yet so far, although to be fair, we've had about half a lap of racing.
I was going to say we had about, maybe a collective two sectors of green flag racing in 5 laps. So
it'd be really nice if we could actually get this thing underway. Been hyped up all day to broadcast this thing and get things rolling, and
Burt Mylander has led more laps than the rest of the field combined.
Yeah, exactly. We've spent almost 98% of the race under safety car, and there's hardly been any actual racing. Hopefully we get things rolling again soon. I imagine at least another lap. The rain looks pretty heavy still, though. Yes, Maverick pit under the first safety car, Bobby.
I really hope the weather clears off, because even if it clears off in 4 or 5 laps, it'll still, even if the rain just lets up then. But if it does dry up at the end of the race, it'll be a furious ending. Which will be...
do see some sun poking through, which means we're probably going to lose this torrential rain shortly, and then start trending towards drying up, but it's probably going to take most of the race to get there. I think the rain is lightening up a bit. Doesn't look as heavy. Like, it's not sideways anymore. It's just coming straight down, right?
That's what I see too. It's always hard to tell though under the safety car, I find.
It really is,
on board. Because you just lose. You're at the different speed and everything. But
yeah. You don't really see it the way that it looked, but
certainly it doesn't seem to be quite as many puddles, at least from the camera angles I've seen.
No, it doesn't look. Yeah, it's definitely lightening up now. The drops are smaller and they're not as dense. It looks a little bit better now. So I think we're probably going to go racing again at the end of this lap. See if the race director decides so. I think it's pretty much good enough to go now, and hopefully we get a clean run to the end of the Grand Prix here. And yeah, the sun's poking out. You can see the clouds lightening up a tad there in the distance, so I think we'll be trending towards drying up. If we actually get there remains to be seen, but it does look pretty. Yeah, safety car in this lap. It does look pretty heavy down this end though still, but safety car is in this lap, so get back to the front of the field here. Checking on who has stopped there. Everybody on wet tires. Looks like JXW's pit for Inters. That's a ballsy move. I don't know if that's going to pay off for him. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got nothing to lose, I guess, at the back. But he may be listening to me a little too much in the stream there. And oh, the clouds are brightening. Maybe I should pit. You never know. It could pay off. You never know. But we'll see if he can even keep it on the road for the next couple laps, and then we'll go from there. So Packer going to get things underway again. When will he punch the throttle? He likes to take his time. These guys behind really close. And there we go, racing again. It's a good jump there for Durnia. He's going to get J. Cole, and it looks like Porchy Dude may get by as well. So Durnia covers J. Cole off there nicely. And Porchy Dude trying to sneak down the inside. But yeah, no, it was fair, I think. He did well there. And then J. Cole with a moment there. Porchy Dude slips through. So J. Cole a little off balance there from that overtake and lost another place. Doth right on the back of J. Cole now. Let's check in behind. We got
Axton all over Mr. Joshua.
Yeah,
Mr. Joshua is really struggling through the S's.
It seems like his setup's just not working for him through there or something. Just very timid on the cold tires, perhaps. And we got Maverick right on the back of Jinnit as well here. Get back up to that battle with Axton. And Joshua looks to be the closest one we've got at the moment. We got J. Cole closing back in on Porchy Dude. Oh, someone's off.
Jinnit
has spun. He's into the barrier. He's got himself going again, but he's going to have to pit once more. Is he? Or did he get it? Did he get it spun back around?
I can't tell.
He looks like he might be okay. Camden and Beck side by side here into the turn. And Camden's got that covered off, it looks like, but Beck going to have that inside line, sends it, and they're still side by side. Brake ducts glowing, and still side by side. Neither yielding. Beck looking for that alternate line, Camden taking that tight inside line, and now Beck going to have that inside line once again. Still side by side.
Camden left him a lot of space there on the exit. That was very kind racing, but unfortunately that gave Beck the better traction.
Yeah, it looks like he got passed before the camera picked them up, so Camden loses that spot to Beck. T-Money now under pressure from Maverick, so Maverick ahead of Jinnit, obviously with Jinnit's incident there. JXW, how is he doing on those inters? Does it seem like he's closing? He is, actually. JXW's looking pretty racy on these inters, actually. He might have made the right call here. He's hanging in the group. He's hanging onto the field. So, I mean, at that point, you have to think that if they're not doing damage, then it's a better tire, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think they might be... it looks like he's
J.
really
Cole,
struggling through the
very
S's.
tricky place for an overtake, but J. Cole sends it down the inside on Portudude and gets through. What a beautiful overtake from J. Cole there. Gets back to where he was. Portudude pulled that sneaky move while J. Cole was slipping and sliding. Joshua now taking a peek on Doth. Not close enough.
JXW has been, I mean, even if he's not faster than the guys
No.
on wet tires, if he's able to hang with them, I think it's
Yeah.
it's worth the risk, you know, because he stands to gain, 15, 20 seconds in a pit stop. If
Eric
he can at least hang with them, then he's made the right
flies
call.
by Axton there, and we've got Camden making a move on back down the inside here. Great racing here when we finally got things underway. We've had about 2 laps of actual racing now, and it's been non-stop action through the field. And they're still fighting, Camden and Beck.
They're taking the exact same lines they did last lap.
Yeah, Beck got this covered off, but Camden's going to try and look for that late sweep, see if he can find some more traction here.
And
Some action
JXW
behind,
making
too.
the inters work. Yeah, he gets by Zamoglis, so
Yeah,
the
so-
inters might have been the right call for JXW.
I think JXW has nailed that. They don't look slower, that's for sure. And as you mentioned, maybe the traffic hiding the actual pace of the inters right now. But if JXW can hang and make an overtake, they got to be the right tire, right? Everybody pitting now. So
Yep.
obviously listening to the stream, they're hearing what we're saying because everyone has decided it's time to go in and put the inters on. Puff Digital has stayed out. A lot of these guys have stayed out the front.
Yeah,
Puff goes very
Doth
deep,
pit,
and T-Money sweeps underneath. Puff with a big moment there, and nearly gives the place to Maverick, too. Doth had to pit, yeah, so I guess Puff had to stay out regardless, right?
Yep. But it looks like JXW has gained positions on pretty much everyone else who's pit, and he might come out in the race lead. It'll be
I
close
think
with
he
him
will.
and Packer.
I think he will at this point, because he's pretty far up the field already. He's not that far behind. It's about
Accident around
about
in the first sector.
15 seconds. Look, it's pretty much dry. The rain has almost stopped here.
Axton has gone around and he lost his front wing, so there must have been something after the pit stop for him. And he's going to have to pit again.
JXW made a great call here. He's definitely in the net lead of this thing once the pit stops are done, because the guys behind him have to pit, and the guys ahead of him have to pit. And it's pretty much stopped raining here, so Maverick taking a peek, though, on those wet tires, trying to get a place back here, but no, JXW with that acceleration on the inters out of the corner, able to hold the position. Just a lot more grip on the exit there. You can see the rain is pretty light now. Definitely time for inters, so I imagine we're going to see the rest of the field dive in here for intermediate tires. Do we have any teammates that are going to compromise each other? No, looks like everybody split their strategies nicely. Actually, well, JXW's already pit, but his teammate T-Money ahead needs to pit. JXW going to be leading this thing, though.
Yeah, he is, because Packer just came into the pits, and he'll be
Yep.
around for sure.
Some guys staying out, it looks like. Is that
It's
Eric? Yep.
And Mr. Joshua. Or no,
Comes
not Mr.
Packer.
Joshua.
Packer behind JXW. JXW well ahead here. There he goes. JXW making the corner while Packer just leaving and now makes the corner himself. Let's see what that interval is. Probably going to be about 3 seconds, but JXW around the outside on Portudude. Hell of a move. I saw that off in the distance while we were riding with Packer. Great stuff there. And we got Beck and Joshua scrapping now. Really struggling to keep up with all the action here today. It's just non-stop. Puff just leaving the pits. Obviously had to serve that penalty. Got to be frustrating. He's dropped out behind Jinnit now. So let's get back up to the front. JXW has got to get by Eric here to try and put some distance between him and Packer. He's got so much more grip, as you can see. Eric really struggling on the traction, the power out of the corner. Just nothing there for him. And there goes JXW, flies by Packer. Sorry, Eric. Packer closing quickly here. Is he going to get by Porchy Dude? He should. Got much more grip to brake on, and he does get the position. So Packer very close to the lead once more. See what JXW can do. Wonder how much life he took out of those tires on that first lap where it was a little dicey still.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not digital, no. Yeah, I mean, he probably got run into, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, JXW,
whoa,
he was in,
here, making a move around the outside on Porchy Dude, and he gets it. Oh, nearly loses the car, though. That was very close from Durnia. Just got that move done. So Porchy Dude and Eric have both pit now. They are off the so the entire field now running on intermediates.
But yeah, JXW, I think he was in like P6 or something like that, maybe P7 when he pit and came out at the back, but he made the right call. The risk was worth it. And
J. Cole puts in the fastest lap, and he's closing on Doth right now as well. Let's get back to J. Cole and Doth. Ride on board with this scrap, or at least keep an eye on the scrap, not necessarily on board. Unless the camera director gives us terrible angles like they tend to.
They like to do that.
They do. It's frustrating. Wish I could... Well, I mean, imagine having to try and control the cameras too. It would be too much. I don't think I could keep up, despite
I'd rather complain about it than actually have to take action.
Having the luxury of doing it might be more work than it's worth, to be honest. But J. Cole closing on Doth here. He's not going to be close enough to take a look here, though. Without that DRS, it's going to be tough to get overtakes done if you're similar pace with the guy in front. But great stuff from Doth here. He's up in P4.
Yeah, he's had a good start. I know there's no DRS active right now, but Maverick and P8, there's about a sec.
J. Cole just tries to send it down the inside. Doth fighting that back on the outside. Now Doth with the inside line covers it off. J. Cole with so much confidence and grip around the outside hangs it in there and gets the move done. That was a stellar overtake from J. Cole there to continue fighting that and actually secure the overtake. Excellent stuff.
I was just saying, even though there's no DRS active right now, Maverick and P8, there's about less than a second gap to Zamoglis behind, and less than a second gap for about 6 cars in a row. So when DRS inevitably does get turned on, there's going to be a huge train from about P8 to P12. So
yeah, I'd imagine
something to watch.
We've seen the rain lighten up quite substantially over the last 10 minutes or so. So there's a good chance that we may end up dry racing by the end of the session here. We see a dry line forming. We still have rain coming down, though, so it's going to be a little while still. T-Money, Camden, Zamoglis, all applying the pressure to Maverick, as you mentioned. Doth looking to fight this back with J. Cole now. He's right on his tail, so I wonder if J. Cole had a bit of a moment there. Doth just a lot of grip in the S's there. Now heading into Sector 2. Down the long straight, see if Doth can get a slipstream here and try to fight it. Not close enough, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't look like Doth is going to be able to consistently fight that back, so maybe just a bit of a moment there for J. Cole allowed Doth another crack at it, but J. Cole looks like he's pretty much ready to scamper away. Just about put a second between them now. Let's check in with this gap between Maverick, Zamoglis, and Camden. T-Money sort of losing touch with them, but not really. And then we got Porchy Dude, Jinnit, Eric, and Puff about 3 seconds behind Eric at the moment. So Puff that penalty really hurt him. He's had to work his way back to the pack now. Let's see if he can make up a few seconds here and close in, start getting amongst the action. So we got a nice little group here.
Without that 5 second for Puff, he would have been closer to about P12 and been able to look ahead. But
yeah,
he's
exactly.
got that gap he's got to reel in, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if these guys sit here long enough in these odd gaps where they're picking up toes, but not quite making moves, then I don't know if that's really hurting Puff or benefiting him. Like, he might have a chance to close because these guys will eventually start scrapping and wasting each other's time, but at the same time they're towing each other up the road as well.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, a lot of cars really close together though, so that's good to see here. We do have some substantial gaps out the front. A lot of big time gaps there through the top 8, which isn't terribly surprising with the safety car tire strategy, rain conditions. It's we're not going to get a true reflection of the tier's pace with all these variables today, but we do have a nice little scrap brewing here for P8 behind Maverick. So we'll enjoy this thoroughly while we can, and we'll look forward to some really tight, close racing for the majority of the season. It's a little disappointing, I guess, in a sense, with the rain being such a variable. Good for excitement, but not necessarily good for really getting a good look at the true pace of all the guys here in Tier 1 this season. So we'll probably have to hold that thought till next week until we see that pan out for us. But as far as tonight goes, been a lot of action and a lot of close battles through the field here.
Yeah, Packer was reeling in that gap pretty quickly, but it's slowed a little bit the last lap or so. It's stayed about 1.7 seconds, so he's
maybe just conserving those tires, knowing perhaps JXW can't get to the end. If they do need to run the interest to the end, Packer in a good spot to do so, whereas JXW could struggle.
Yeah, and
a bit of a moment there for Camden behind Smoglis.
That's the last thing Camden needs is another moment in this race.
No, but it really didn't hurt him much. He's barely lost any ground.
He's done a good job getting back into the points. I mean, he was P18, P17 at the end of the first lap, so he's done a really good job getting back there, and I'm sure he'll grab a few more spots before it's all said and done.
See them cresting over the hill there. Smoglis trying to hunt down Maverick. Well, Camden, T-Money, Porchy Dude, Jinnit, Eric try to keep touch. Puff just not able to really close that gap at the moment. He's picked up a penalty as well now. So Puff struggling a little bit back there. Probably not helping. All these guys are pretty much towing each other away now. And Puff not going to get much of an advantage from 3.8 seconds back. So you have to find his pace somewhere else if he's going to try and get amongst this DRS. Well, not really DRS train. It's more of a slipstream train. But Maverick doing a great job there, doing just enough to keep Smoglis at a striking distance.
Yeah, Smoglis will not hesitate. If there's a gap, he's going to go for it.
Yeah, we've seen it.
I was going to say, I've raced against him and raced with him quite a few times, and he'll go for it. I mean, he's not going to overstep, but if you make a mistake, if you run wide, if you get poor traction, he will be there to put pressure on you. So, defending from Smoglis can be quite a task at times. So Maverick is doing a great job.
He's doing a great job. Packer now within a second of JXW. T-Money as well was closing in on Camden there, but looks like Camden had a couple good corners and secured that gap a little bit. Zem, through the S's, Zem is rapid. He really makes up a lot of ground through here, but he's struggling on the corner exits. I think Maverick getting a bit more traction down the long straight there.
I just wonder if there's setups play into that too.
Yeah, perhaps maybe someone running a bit more of a dry leaning setup, hoping for some dry racing towards the end, but we're slowly running out of time for that as we approach lap 16 here. Packer reeling in JXW as we watch the battle here for 8th. Zamoglis. Camden. Wow, Camden's got an excellent exit there, and he's alongside. It snuck right up on me there. He's alongside Zamoglis, and he's going to send it late on the brakes there for Zem, trying to defend. Camden, this section's great for racing because the inside line shifts back and forth. Camden around the outside trying to hang on to that. He's now going to have the inside line, and he moves to the middle of the track to cover that off, and that's given T-Money a sneak peek at the action here, and he almost sticks his nose in on Zamagos, who says no sir and closes the door. So T-Money almost gifted a spot there while Zem was looking for a line, and that's going to help Camden get away here. Some excellent racing here for the Season 5 premiere of Zenith Online Racing. Tier 1, we're on lap 16. We got a great scrap going here for P8. Camden's lost a bit of ground to Maverick. Maverick will be breathing a sigh of relief seeing these guys slowly drifting away. Zamoglis doing everything in his power to try and get that place back so he can charge on and go fight for some more points. Lots of people tuned in tonight too. Appreciate you stopping by for the Season 5 premiere. A lot of guys in the chat, obviously members of the league, but we've probably got some new members popped in. 20 guys watching. We've hit 20 for the race viewership tonight. That's excellent to see. If you're new here, drop a line in the chat. Got any questions, any comments, feel free. But thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a really great start to the season so far. And look at this side-by-side behind here. Whoa, they're bumping wheels. Jinnit and Porchy, dude. Looks like they're touching wheels down the straight here. Some crazy stuff. Let's get on the back. Whoa, Jinnit! Oh, that was dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't think that was called for, honestly. I don't know. I mean, you have every right to cover a line, but that was a very late defense. He swept across the last minute and pushed Porchy Dude essentially off the road. Otherwise, he was going to collect Jinnit and take him with him.
Yeah, that looks pretty tough, and unfortunately, it's cost Porchy Dude a spot to Eric as well.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary. Jinnit had the inside covered. He didn't need to move over like that. I know he was technically ahead, but you know he literally left millimeters of space there. So that's a dicey one. Not too sure about that. But we'll get back to Packer, who is closing on JXW. Still not quite close enough. T-Money taking a peek at some Moglis here. All right, Omar. Omar's here cheering on Eric. May have seen him in the past, ages ago. I can't remember, but I know we've had some Eric fans in the chat in the past. Glad to have you with us tonight. Thanks for dropping a line in the chat there. Always appreciate that. I like getting new people involved, and sick of seeing Fuzz screaming at everybody in the chat constantly. So thanks for coming in here and providing some positive energy. Besides Fuzz. Nah, it's good. I like Fuzz actually should have been racing tonight, but kindly stepped down to allow Eric to race in Tier 1 due to availability. So big ups to Fuzz for that. It's a true admin move there. Gotta give him credit where it's due.
Oh, Fuzz.
Yeah. I'm sick of seeing you. What do you mean? It's pretty cut and dry.
Axton taking the, speaking of dry, Axton taking the risk to go onto the dry tires, so...
Yeah, you know, it looks like it's almost ready. It is raining a tad, but there's no standing water anymore, so... it does seem like the Inter guys are starting to struggle. Look, everybody has gone in for the dry, so it is time. The transition period has hit. Let's see.
Packer going for the mediums.
Packer going for the mediums, JXW for the softs. So JXW still has track position at this time. And let's see. Let's see if this pays off for JXW. He needs to get the hammer down now and take advantage of that tire early in this final stint. Beck's gone for the mediums as well. Everybody else opting for the softs, it looks like. Everybody's pit now. The entire field, essentially. Except for
Camden
Camden.
is not because of Packer, so they don't want to double stack.
Yeah, but he is struggling. You can see he's so hesitant turning into these corners here. No, I didn't realize it was you in there chirping Fuzz. I was like, oh, someone's giving Fuzz the business in there.
Yep, no, that was
yeah.
me.
Yeah, great job running, moderating chat and co-commentating, so that's good. T-Money trying to close. Doth right on the back of Camden here, who's on those inters, so you can just see the lack of grip. Doth, though, bobbles it. He's not going to get the traction he needs here. He probably could do it under braking.
Too close.
Here comes Beck. Beck now alongside Doth. Is Beck going to try and take a peek at the inters as well? He does, right down the inside. 3 wide into the corner. Doth cuts the corner to try and fight it back, but I think Beck is going to get the place here. No, Doth around the outside trying to hang on still.
Doth's going to get it in the end because he's going to get so much better traction coming out of there. There he goes.
Doth covers that inside line so nicely, and Beck not able to fight that back, and as you mentioned, yeah, that extra grip. Doth able to just put the power down a tad earlier and secure the position. Nearly lost it there to Beck. Sneaky move from him. It was great stuff there, 3 wide into the corner. So obviously Camden going to be pitting at the end of this lap as well. Checking with this battle back here. And Zamoglis and Jinnit. Jinnit now trying to take a peek at Zem here. Whoa, someone's gone way wide. This Porchy dude behind. T-Money under pressure from a few drivers here. So Camden's pit, that's going to cost him a ton of time, I feel, compared to the rest of the field on dries. Eric is on fresh inters, is that correct? Did he pit for inters and now he's pit again? So Eric's made a blunder there on the strategy, I believe.
No, he's coming into the pits now.
No, but it says he's on 0 lap inters already.
He just... Oh, I don't know. Let me check the race director.
Check the stops there. Check the stops. Is he... Yeah, Eric has accidentally pit twice, so he's pit onto the inters, I think, accidentally a second time.
Yep, he had 2 sets of inters and then onto the softs.
Yeah, so that was a mistake. He didn't change his tire strategy, I guess. So Jinnit now potentially looking at a penalty for turn 1, lap 1 incident, and possibly another one for that late move under braking. So Jinnit is going to have to make up some ground here to try and cover off any drivers behind if he wants some points. Sends it down the inside, very late on the brakes, and he's nearly into the side of T-Money there, and he has to really pull out of that. Jinnit is going for it tonight. He doesn't have any penalties yet either, which is surprising. He usually picks up a lot of time penalties, so Jinnit... Well, he's...
JX has picked up a time penalty.
Possibly, yeah, I was going to say Jinnit's possibly picked up penalties externally applied after the race by stewards, but none on track tonight so far, so... That's good to see from Jinnit, because it's something that's definitely been an issue with him in the past, picking up those time penalties that have hurt him. Definitely quite often the quickest driver out there, but pushes himself down the field with the time penalties. So see if he can keep it clean for the rest of the race tonight. Durnya closing on Packer. So Packer going under those mediums, not looking like a great decision at the moment. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm surprised Packer has gone to the mediums because they are struggling pace-wise, but maybe towards the end of the stint they might be better, but I don't know if it's really going to be enough. Any action behind there? Jinnit's still hanging on to T-Money.
Yeah, JXW, despite having the 3-second penalty, he still might get the win because Packer is one has Durnya pressuring him from behind, and those mediums, at least right now, just do not seem like they are the tire to be on.
No, have we seen DRS enabled yet?
Yes, it's been open for a couple laps.
Okay, sorry, I didn't even notice. There it is. Yep. Durnya. So Durnya's going to have DRS on Packer. Packer is a bit of an alien pace-wise, though, so... we'll see if Durnya, the DRS is powerful enough to get by Packer, or if Packer can dig deep and find that pace to try and hold him off. Either way, that's going to benefit JXW.
Yeah, Fuzz saying that 8 to 10 laps is usually the amount of time you want to take the softs, maybe at the start of the race, so at the end they definitely last for 10. So.
Yep. J. Cole as well, a threat to win this thing from this spot as well. If him and Durnya get through on this lap, they could very well charge ahead there and take JXW's glory from him. But regardless,
JXW might, I mean, 7 laps, but Packer has not made any headway, and he's going to have Durnia, who's going to take a dive at him right now.
He does.
Into the hairpin. Durnia locks up, but just hangs on, and now J. Cole is going to be pressuring him too, so if these three continue to fight, that's just going to extend JXW's gap, which I'm sure he'll be more than happy
there
with.
Goes J. Cole. He's by Packer too. Another great overtake from J. Cole. He's put on a clinic here overtaking tonight. Very opportunistic and sticks the car in and just has the confidence to keep it on the road in some tight spots. So good to see from J. Cole there. Full-time reserve. We'll be seeing a lot of him this season. I'm not sure if he'll be here every race, but at least quite often. So it's good to see in his return to Tier 1. I believe he raced with us in Season 1, actually, for a little while at least. Maybe Season 2 when we had the EU tier. I can't remember anymore. But, yeah. As you mentioned, JXW's gap now 4.5 seconds. So it is enough to cover that. And Dernier's picked up a penalty.
Yeah, he has 6 seconds.
He's had 6 seconds.
For a few laps, so
J. Cole, the real threat here for the victory with the penalties in play. JXW, Puff picks up another penalty. He's got 9 seconds now. So Puff has caught that group ahead of him, though. So he might be able to do some racing now. Durnia, though.
T-Money losing a place to Alt Maverick, or Alt Maverick losing a place to T-Money, excuse me.
Yeah, he's on those mediums, so I think that, oh, here comes J. Cole. Taking a look around the outside here. Durnia's covering that inside aggressively. And Durnia goes so deep, and J. Cole at the switchback gets the place. What a move from J. Cole there. Another brilliant overtake.
Yeah, that's bad news for JXW, because he was going to be relying on that buffer there of Matthew Durnia, who's got the penalties, so...
I caught that too, Fuzz. That was good. I threw him off when I said it, Durnia. He mixed it.
Yeah, he said it right in the middle of his stocking.
Yeah, that was good.
He's
like
no
Jedi...
longer T-Money. He's only T-Money now.
T-Mania. Yeah, Jedi mind tricks there. Alt Maverick. Whoa, big incident there. Someone's gone round. Is it Jinnit? It is Jinnit. And again, Jinnit tangled up in some chaos here. He's been turned around, and a couple cars caught him, I think, as well. I think there might be some damage for a couple guys here. We'll have to figure that out in a second. Let's get back to the front here. Packer closing on Durnia now. And Durnia trying to hang on to J. Cole, who is reeling in JXW slowly but surely. JXW needs more of a cushion there. J. Cole is almost a second behind. And JXW carrying that 3-second penalty, so gotta really hope J. Cole maybe picks up a penalty here before the race is over. And that could pretty much give him the win if he can maintain the pace he's at right now. Doing a great job there. Regardless, JXW probably driver of the day, making that bold strategy decision under the safety car to pit to Inters, gained a ton of time, and he's basically held on to the lead since that point of the race. Even if he loses it here on the final lap, I mean, I'm sure he won't be happy losing a win, but P2 after, starting, what was he, 5th or 6th, be a pretty good result for him. Let's check the positions gained. Yeah, JXW started P7th. Yeah, so safety car. Ooh, well that's going to hurt JXW. Now what? What do we get tire-wise? Is anyone going to pit here? JXW has to stay out.
I bet Packer will pit.
JXW's pit. JXW's pit. J. Cole stays out. Durnia pits. Packer pits.
They got a pretty big gap to Doth. This actually, JXW might be able to get back in now.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, he's been held. He's been held by multiple cars coming in. Is he going to lose the place here?
No, he should be fine.
I don't know why we're still looking at his pit box. He is ahead. Okay, yep. So it's Durnia and Packer behind JXW still. As you mentioned, though, this could give JXW an advantage on pure grip over J. Cole and see if he can get ahead and secure a 3-second lead. But, I mean, we've got...
3 seconds is going to be quick because
he's going to have to.
Will probably be green flag lap 26, so you'll have 3 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
As Durnia's picked up another time penalty.
Has Jinnit parked it? Jinnit's gone in the pits and called it a night there and left.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so Jinnit frustrated. He's had enough for tonight. Not sure what happened there with that incident. He's gone
Not
round.
either.
I don't know if he's gone round on his own volition there, or was perhaps caught in a collision. But not a great night for Zenith overall. Just a lot of stuff going on around Zenith tonight, whether his fault or not.
Oh, Beck picked up a drive-through.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So close to the end of the race too.
That's pretty much race ender, I think. Yeah, JXW still has a very real chance at taking this. If Dernia can hold up Packer just enough, and
yeah, I don't know why so many people pit you. It's a great question, Scavney.
there was a big gap between the top four and Doth in P5, so I think they could. There's about a 18-second gap. So I think for the top four, they knew that they would be able to stay in the top four. They wouldn't be dropping way down the field. So I think for a lot of them, it was pretty, for JXW, he pit from the lead, which J. Cole was catching him anyway, and came out P2 on fresh tires. So I don't think
he was probably going to end up P2 with that penalty anyway. So he needs to cover those guys off behind, right? So yeah, it's a good decision. Although I was surprised to see J. Cole stay out. So I'm sure he's confident enough in his pace that he can keep the lead here, especially with the two guys behind carrying penalties as well. So Packer could end up net P2 here by the time it's all said and done. He's on fresh tires. Even if he doesn't actually get those places, Packer very likely going to get P2 on penalties. We got Doth and Beck behind. Let's check the penalty situation actually while we're under safety car here. Dernia has 14 seconds in penalties. Beck with a drive-through. Doth has 3, so that's not too bad. T-Money could jump Doth, though. Beck will be out of the picture before the race is over, or he'll get disqualifying, so T-Money could jump a place here. T-Money could be pretty close to a podium here, actually, with all those penalties ahead. Could see T-Money on a podium. That would be outstanding.
I was going to say, Zamaglis in P10 doesn't have a penalty yet, so he could very easily jump Camden and Portudude and be up in P8. Which, once again, that just goes to show you that the penalties obviously way thrown off this race because of the changeable conditions. We had torrential rain, and now it's sunny, and looks like it's not rained in days. But
yeah, the fans are dry already.
Yeah, and Zamaglis might be able to gain a handful of points here just from avoiding penalties.
Yeah, because there's not going to be a lot of time for those guys with penalties to make up any ground. But I think we could see, if T-Money can really stick with that front group, we could see a T-Money podium here. He keeps it clean to the end of the race. And like I said, that would be a great start for the season for him, because he struggled a little bit last year after dropping all of the assists to get up to speed.
Huge for AlphaTauri if JXW can get on the podium, and maybe T-Money as well, and JXW can even sneak through. And if he can overtake J. Cole, which he should be able to, because safety
very
car's
late
in this
call
lap.
there. Very late call though. So it's gonna.
That's good for us though, because we're gonna have 3 full laps of green flag to watch.
We'll get DRS on the final lap. So J. Cole going to get us going again, leading the safety car. Everybody's going to have to warm these tires up very quickly now because they were caught at the last second there probably. Not trying to take too much life out of the tires, right? So J. Cole hits the throttle here. And away we go. 3 laps of racing here in the Season 5 premiere of Tier 1. It's Zenith Online Racing. 3 to go. J. Cole leading. JXW second. Dernia in third. Bunch of penalties to play out. Puff has gone round. He's on the cold tires, has lost it. Very unfortunate for Puff. It's not been a great night for him out there. JXW. Oh, nearly picks up a penalty there. Or he ran over the curbing, I believe, so maybe got a warning for that. But it's very tight at the front. We're going to stay with the battle for the win here right to the end. J. Cole could pick up a penalty perhaps and even give Packer the win here. Here comes Dernia trying to make a move on JXW here. Dernia with that grip, so confident, sends it down the inside, and I believe he's got the plays. Dernia ahead here, obviously carrying a lot of penalties here. They're going to hurt him massively at the end. It could even push him out of the points the way the field's spread at the moment. Packer sends it late, but he's got a car in front of him, and he has to bail out of that. JXW looking for some space on the inside, begging for space, And he's a big send from JXW, who's fighting tooth and nail, trying to hang on to everything he can here. And it looks like the podium's sliding away from JXW so slowly here. He might be able to keep it, though, with Dernia's penalties. Hard to say. We could see Beck or Camden, perhaps, jump from behind. T-Money, as we mentioned, hanging on as well, very close. This has been a crazy race and a very good finish here. Really tight battle at the end with the top four.
JX has picked up another penalty.
So he's in trouble now. He's probably going to slide out of the podium. T-Money just needs to stay close here, and he can make up a lot of ground. Get back to the front.
Well, JXW should still be on the podium because Dernia has a lot of penalties.
Yeah, but he could get jumped from behind because he's got more penalties now.
True.
So we'll see how that pans out. I'm not even going to try to do the math right now. Let's just focus on the action, and we'll sort it all out when it's all said and done. Could even see some removals perhaps as well. Puff is out. He's parked it.
Dernia is all over the back of J. Cole. He's got a lot of pace right now.
He sure does. He is absolutely flying. J. Cole's tires must be on the edge of their life here. And Dernia, without the DRS, is going to pass J. Cole here. And Packer also taking a peek at it, too. Taking a sniff. Nothing quite there yet, though. Packer will know that J. Cole's tires are much older, so probably if he gets a chance to send it, he will, and he does. Packer down the inside, but... he's still side by side. So I thought Packer was going to have to bail out of that, but he actually kept it alongside. Just so much more grip, and he swings it down the inside here. Very tricky place for overtaking, but J. Cole covers that off nicely. Packer switches it back, though. He's back down the inside. And into the final turn, they're side by side, wheel to wheel. Clean racing there, and Packer gets the place. Great stuff from him. And that's brought JXW right back into play. He's on the tail of J. Cole here. We're on the final lap. DRS has been enabled, so it's all to play for here on the final lap for the top four. See how the penalties shake out. Looks like Packer could be poised for a victory here, though. He's in second currently with no penalties. J. Cole struggling for the grip a little bit, but he is going to have DRS, so we'll see how that pans out for J. Cole. Watch these guys as we move. After that first lap incident, it'll be a good result for him. Maverick, Joshua, very close as well to T-Money. And then Zamagos trying to hold off Eric and Axton. Looks like Axton is going to get through here. These guys not close enough. Axton looking for some room around the outside on Eric here. Neither guy at the front there, those guys at the front, no, the DRS didn't work out for them. Nobody could really take advantage of it. Here comes Axton and Eric, though, dueling down the straight. Axton's got that place. He secured it. We got T-Money and Maverick scrapping ahead as well. And Mr. Joshua getting mixed up in the action. Ooh, very big moment there for Maverick. Looks like he got late on the brakes and a big snap. And now Joshua with a snap, too. So Joshua alongside Maverick. We're entering the final couple turns here. Dernia crosses the line. 5-second penalty for an unserved penalty. And
Maverick with a little bit of a touch and wheels there.
Yeah, so Maverick gets ahead of Joshua, and he crosses the line in front. So really good action right down to the wire there. Packer wins it on penalties. J. Cole will bring home second. JXW secures that podium by just under a second. Doth Alhoy snags P4. Great result for Doth. T-Money, P5. Camden, 6th. Joshua, 7th. Dernia drops all the way to 8th with all those penalties. And Zamaglis picks up a couple points, P9, and Maverick gets his first point in Tier 1 after winning the Tier 2 championship last season. So good result for Maverick. Struggled a little bit with the pace today, but still picks up a point here. Good to see. Really excellent debut for the season there. Season 5, Tier 1, we're underway. Round 1 complete. And we got 17 more to go. Only 18 races this season. It's a mixed-up calendar. I don't even know what's next week. We'll
I will tell you in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll
Doth just told me that he his wheel turned off on the second to last lap. Otherwise, he thinks he might have been able to sneak into a podium there. So
that's so unfortunate.
Looks
there
like
he
we
is.
got Hungary next.
Hungary next week. That'll be interesting. Very good, really technical racing track. And there he is again, a familiar sight, Mr. Packer, on the top step of the podium. picked up where he left off in Season 4. He wins the first race of Season 5 here in Tier 1. J. Cole as a reserve picks up P2. And JXW with a very strong race. Great strategies decision tonight. Put him in a really, really competitive spot. Very close to his first victory. And he snags P3 for the AlphaTauri team here. Data Hoist 4th. T-Money in 5th. Camden in 6th. After great recovery drive from Camden there after getting spun around on the first corner. Joshua 7th. Durnia 8th. Zamoglis 9th. Maverick 10th with the final point. His first points in Tier 1. Axton P11. Eric P12. Aerostrike P13. Porchy Dude P14. Looking pretty racy and fast early on, but just struggled towards the end there and slid down the order. Beck P15. And then Puff, Jeanette, and Ryan did not finish. Jeanette had a frustrating evening out there. Puff as well. And Ryan DNF'd on the very first lap. So only one true DNF, which is not too bad for a full wet race. But great stuff there. We'll get the guys in here for their podium interviews. The first ones on the season. Something we like to do every week here in Tier 1. Become a bit of a tradition. So, Zag, I think you're the party host.
Yep. I'll add JX and Packer, but I don't think I'm friends with J. Cole, so I'll need to add him.
I think I've got J. Cole. I'll invite... Oops, I don't need to go into that menu. I'll see if I can add J. Cole to the party. I guess I can add players now. It's not like suggest players anymore, eh? That's nice. Yeah, I got J. Cole. There we go.
Oh, what a wild race.
You know, I didn't even think of this. Zag, do you... I generally Puff would lead the interviews as like sort of the second guy. Are you interested in that role? Or would you rather
Sure.
me? Yeah, because I didn't even cook up any questions, to be honest with you. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm so used to Puff doing it. I just sit here quietly. All right. I'll let you take things away when you're ready. Let's wait for those guys to get in here.
We got JX in here. We're still waiting for Jake. Did you add J. Cole?
I did add J. Cole. I'm not sure if he's going to show up. Maybe a bit late for him in the UK, but...
Well, we'll start with JX while we wait for the other guys to join. But Puff and I, or Biggo and I, were saying as the track was drying up that we thought your call for the inters was the maybe the deciding moment of the race. Why did you make that switch?
It was the one time Jeff was useful. Because he said go on a different strategy, and I just clicked it and I didn't think about it, and it put me on inters during a safety car, and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. And I started going around on it. I'm like, oh no, I'm not. Everything is there's so much more grip.
Well, yeah, I mean, thanks, Jeff, in a non-sarcastic way for once, but yeah, it was interesting. I was curious to see the other thing we were speculating about was if they would hold up for the rest of the race, if it was going to finish like that, or if the track would dry up. I guess we got our answer with the safety car, but the late safety car, but yeah, it was impressive. I mean, we were both pretty surprised to see inters because the second safety car, I think we had guessed had come out for just the rain and nothing else because no one had retired and we didn't see anybody who had picked up damage. So for the torrential rain to lead to a early call to inters, we were pretty. I mean, I was pretty impressed by that. So good job, Jeff, and good job making the inters work. We thought for a while there you might be on for the win if you could hold off before that last safety car, but
the 6 seconds penalties didn't help me in anything. But yeah, I was shooting for it, but still got podium. So
oh yeah, good start to the season, and I think T-Money finished P5.
Yeah, he went from 15th to 5th, so that should.
Yeah, so for you guys as a team, that was a fantastic start to the season.
Absolutely. I thought Packer was going to hawk me down on the inters. He was so close.
He was closing that gap quickly.
Dry setup. Completely dry setup.
No tweak at all for the race?
Nope. Just lowered my front wing one at the beginning of the race, and that was it. And then upped it back for the dry conditions. But yeah, that was it. I thought it was only going to be inters, so I thought the drag would be fine. And then it said it was going to go dry at 45 minutes, so I thought, yeah, dry setup and get away with that, but guess not.
Yeah, well, I mean, Biggo was saying you left off right where you picked up right where you left off with a victory. So congratulations, great start to the season. Yeah, yeah, just talk us through your thought process throughout that race.
Yeah, thank you. Always great to start off with a win. Get the first hand, I guess, on that championship trophy. It's going to be difficult with Lando if he doesn't sleep through every race. But yeah, race was actually really difficult once again with the dry setup. Almost spun into the safety car on lap one at the hairpin. I'm not sure if you guys caught that or not, but yeah, that was an interesting moment. I thought J. Cole was going to be able to get past me, but I guess not. We love Cody's. But yeah.
I was going to say, I saw that and was curious to know if you would get let back through or not. But sorry, I'm just adding J. Cole here.
I added him.
I think he's in. Unless it's...
I added him, but it's UK. He might have... he might just be going to bed or something, right?
Well, Fuzz said in the stream chat that J. Cole said he didn't get invited.
Fuzz has been added in the board.
Here, let me look. Sorry for the button spamming, but that's my wheel.
Good.
Stop spamming.
I think that was the wrong J. Cole.
Yeah, that was the wrong J. Cole.
What? Oops. Oh, I added... Yeah, it's true. I added the old J. Cole. I don't have... Wait a second, but that J. Cole was online.
There's the main man, Jack.
There's the real Jack. J. Cole.
Yeah. Well, who's the other J. Cole? How many J. Coles could there be?
The rapper, obviously.
The rapper.
Yeah.
Parappa the rapper?
Yeah. Yeah, conditions were pretty tough. I got a little bit lucky with the safety car, I think, but that helped it towards the dry conditions with that setup. But yeah, pit for the intermediates, I think I'll lap too late. Got jumped by JXW. I think I would have gotten jumped by him anyways because you pit under the safety car, correct?
Yeah, I'd pit under the safety car for inters.
Yeah, so I lost a little bit of time to Dernia, but then just getting used to the conditions, and then eventually I found my stride trying to catch up to JXW, and then safety car, or was it? I don't think there was a safety car, but dries. I pit on the mediums thinking the softs would die after 4 laps, and they just didn't. JXW just started pulling. J. Cole and Dernia started catching me rapidly. I was like, oh, well, this wasn't a great decision. Then the safety car came out, was able to box for softs. J. Cole stayed out, which questionable decision, Mr. Jack. But yeah, then had a great old battle towards the end.
Yeah, J. Cole, it's just first of all, congratulations on starting the season with the podium. Talk us through that whole race, but in particular that last call to stay out under the safety car.
Well, I'll start off with just at the beginning of the race. I don't know what happened with Camden. He just got an absolute shocker of a start. And then I suppose the safety car kind of just led us around in the full wet conditions, which is annoying because I decided I wanted to try and go for a bit of a wet setup, and it worked well until it came dry. And then, yeah, no, I mean, I was trying my best to catch up to Packer and Dernia, and obviously I got up to the back of Dernia and Packer. Got past, but then it was just when the safety car came out, I thought the best way for me to do it is probably just to try and stay up ahead of JXW, just see if he's going to sort of stay behind. I wasn't expecting Dunya to just fly through, I'm not going to lie, so fair play to him. But
yeah, he had fantastic pace on the softs at the end. That was, yeah, I mean, he had good pace throughout the whole race, but gosh, those last few laps, he just was a missile.
It was the full dry setup and the QVR setups, don't forget about that. QVR better than Excel. Have to get my roast in today.
Well, it doesn't matter because ZOR is
my guy
than both of them. So
QVR safety car.
But
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting battle. There was we thought, I mean, those closing stages pretty much from 1st to 6th, depending on how penalties shook out and everything, we thought pretty much anybody could have been up there. So congratulations to all of you guys starting off the season with some really solid points. Who ended up getting fastest lap?
I think it was Porchy.
Yeah, there's someone. I don't think
Right
he was
at
in
the
the
end.
points. So
Gotcha. But yeah, I don't have anything else for you guys. Bigga, you got anything?
No, just I just want to say great race, guys. Off to a good start here. It's a bit of a shame it was raining, I think, just because we didn't get to see the true dry pace that we're expecting a really tight field here in Tier 1 this season. So bit of a shame that the rain sort of threw a bunch of variables out there, and the safety cars and the tire strategy was thrown all over the place. It was exciting in a lot of ways, but we didn't quite see that wheel-to-wheel, head-to-head action that we were hoping for the debut. So hopefully next week, Hungary, we're going to have pretty technical track there. It'll be tough to overtake. So we're going to see a lot of close racing there. Hopefully it stays dry, and we can see some really, really tough battles for everybody there. I just want to give a shout out to J. Cole there. Some beautiful overtakes and some really unique spots. So fantastic stuff out there tonight. Looked really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff. But that's it for tonight. We'll wrap things up. Anybody else got anything they want to add before we shut the stream off for the night? No?
No.
All right.
I don't think so. I'm excited for this season. It's gonna be season 5, best of the bunch so far already.
All right, so we'll wrap it up. Round 1 complete. That's the Season 5 premiere of Tier 1 for Zenith Online Racing. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Same time as tonight. We've got Tier 2, the season premiere for Tier 2. A few new faces there. We had a few guys from Tier 1 move over there, so we're expecting them to be quite competitive at the front. We're expecting a really good competition there in Tier 2 this season as well. Some of the faster guys from last season still there, and we've added some other drivers that were struggling in Tier 1 a little bit, who will probably excel in Tier 2. So we're going to see some really good action. Excel, yes, sir. That's a nice plug.
When did you get sponsored by Zenith Online Racing?
QVR, whatever that means. I'll throw that plug out there.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Nobody knows. Quality virtual racing is my guess. I have no idea.
There we go.
And then Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time, the EU tier will kick off Season 5 as well. Next week, we're back, 8 p.m. for the Hungarian Grand Prix. That'll be round 2 of 18. A little bit of a shorter calendar this season. We have dropped a few races off the calendar. If you're interested, you can check out Zenith Online Racing on Instagram to see the updated calendar and the updated rosters. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get the notifications when we go live. And we'll catch you next week for round 2. Have a good night.